even gives a little bit of a high five to the cameraman out there with him. Let's take a look at the Marlins starting lineup. It's Marcy, Edwards, and Ramirez at the top of the order. Liam Hicks has gotten off to a great start. The catcher will clean up. Then Otto Lopez, the shortstop, bats fifth. Batting sixth and playing right field, it's Owen Cassie. Norby, Conine, and Paulie, they round out the nine-man lineup.
You see Will Warren on the bump today in the Boogie Down Bronx opening day. Man, what a great feeling this must be for him. Last year, 33 starts. That in and of itself speaks volumes about this young man. And let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report for Will Warren. The fastball combo is really the key. The four-seam, two-seam, he has command of both, uses them both exceptionally well. His velocity's up this year, a couple of ticks. It's early in the season, but something to follow and watch. And that really comes along with his off-speed stuff, too. So a little crisper. And then, for me, the change-up to lefties is an improving pitch. It's going to be a key for him moving forward to be able to neutralize some of these tough lefties.
Now let's see the guys behind them. The defense brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Bellinger, Grisham, and Judge left to right in the outfield. In the infield, it's McMahon, Caballero, Chisholm, and Rice. Wells is behind the plate. Stanton, who's been red hot, he is the DH. And David just to tell, Will Warren is on the mound. Behind the plate is Tom Hanahan. The umpire scouting report brought to you by your local Kia dealers. So fewer low strikes, fewer outside strikes on lefty batters. First game this season behind the plate, so no challenges against him. He's considered hitter friendly. Sun's trying to peek through. The lights are on. Marcy's ready. Warren's ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. And the first pitch is a strike. We are underway. Ronald Culpo, the home plate umpire. Scott Barry at second. And Manny Gonzalez over third, joining Hanahan behind the plate.
Yeah, Marcy's a young hitter that came up August, and his first start was against Rodon last year when the Marlins swept the Yankees down there. So he's a guy that's very patient, really understands the strike zone, and is very willing to take a walk.
Pitch up and away. Well, in that series Joe's talking about, 8 of 12 he reached safely in his plate appearances. 4 hits, 3 doubles, and 4 walks. Started off the season 3 for 22 so far. 2-2.
There's that life on that four-seamer. You see him underneath it, so it's got that carry that all pitchers want today. And then he's be able to combo it with that sinker. Ooh, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's devastating for him, that combination fastball.
But to me, the next step that he has to take is being able to put hitters away quickly. You know, he threw 83 pitches in 4 1/3 innings out in San Francisco. When he does that, ooh, they really got something.
The 2-2 upstairs. Marlins 5-1, started the season with series against Colorado and the White Sox. Outscored them 33-18 and hit .290 as a team against those two pitching staffs. Time called.
Just got through the first roll call of the year. I never get tired of hearing that out there. I mean, that's where it initiated. It started here. The roll call started here. Something the players look forward to.
I always look forward to the new players, what their signal back is.
Swing and a miss. On the fastball, Marcy down on strikes.
Well, here it is, hit it. 3-2, four-seamer, right on by. You can see, to Joe's point, it's got a little life on it. Watch him underneath it. Just a little late and a little underneath it. That's what that vertical break's all about. Sort of the life, the spin, everything about the riding action.
Here's Xavier Edwards. High drive, right field. Judge back on the track at the wall. See ya. A home run for Edwards. It's 1-0 Marlins.
Xavier Edwards only hit 3 home runs last year. They were all left-handed. He's a switch hitter. And when you face a guy like Will Warren, as hitters, you can be aggressive because you know he's coming right at you. Probably not going to be a lot of breaking balls early in the count. and he gets a fastball that's thigh high, and he right down the middle, and he's able to pull it out of Yankee Stadium. But this young man has made a lot of improvement since they've moved him from short to second. And left-handed, he's a very good hitter. Hit over 300 last year.
Ramirez swings and misses. If that seemed unusual, what you just saw, that's the first home run allowed by Yankee pitching. They kept it in the park on the road.
Can hear Roger Clemens yelling at you. The windshield wiper. That's when the catcher's glove goes to the left like that. He'd be yelling, "Get rid of that windshield wiper." It's hard to frame it that way.
Yeah, less movement is better.
Tied him up. Ramirez out of the Yankee system. Came to Miami in the deal that brought Jazz Chisholm to the Yanks.
Yes, you did.
Strike three. 2 away.
When you're pitching at Yankee Stadium, you got to adopt catfish hunter mentality. Solo home runs won't beat you. Keep being aggressive. He does. Little two-seamer swing back. We talked about the fastball combo. That's devastating. That's a ball the whole way until the end when it races back to the outside corner. Yes, it did.
Here's Liam Hicks, 7 for 15 to start the season. 3 home runs, 12 ribbies.
You know what's interesting about him, it reminds me of Ben Rice a little bit, and we'll see how it plays out the rest of the year, but they wanted him to get stronger and pull the ball more, and he's doing that. He pulled the ball only about 15% of the time last year, which is below league average. It's 16.5. It's like 40, and he's killing breaking balls. Absolutely. Only hitting 100 on fastballs, but killing breaking balls and pulling them into the seats.
Left center. Grisham puts it away, and that'll do it. Edwards with the home run. Marlins at their starting lineup. Trent Grisham leads off. The captain, Aaron Judge, in right field bats second. Then Cody Bellinger hits third. Ben Rice at first. Giancarlo Stanton the DH. Jazz Chisholm will play second. Bottom third of the order is Austin Wells, Jose Caballero, and Ryan McMahon at third base, batting ninth.
And Yuri Perez is a young flamethrower. You can see last year just 20 starts, 105 Ks and 95 in the third innings. But yeah, he's got big league stuff. And let's tell you a little bit more in our Nissan pitcher scout report. That high octane fastball is in the upper 90s. Really plays up in the zone well. That's going to be a challenge for the Yankees, is not swinging through that high fastball and the wipeout slider off of that. Good strikeout pitch. The one Achilles heel is you can push his pitch count up. If you could work him, you can maybe drive him out of the game a little earlier.
Check out the defense, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Conine, Marcy, and Casey left to right in the outfield. Paulie, Lopez, Edwards, and Norby third to first. Hicks behind the plate. Ramirez the DH. Perez deals.
Okay, one of the hard things to measure for me has always been deception. The hitters tell you what deception is. You're talking about his wipeout slider. I don't think it has a lot of movement, and I think it's flat. But hitters swing and miss like over 40% of the time, and I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm expecting an answer from you by the end of this day.
I got all the metrics down here. I can nerd out on you all you want.
I'm not asking you to nerd out. I want you to say if you see the same thing, and I don't know if it's because of the difference in the velocity. It's the 6.8. Like, that slider doesn't have a ton of movement.
But it's late, and it changes planes.
Changes planes. Where are we going?
Down.
Oh.
Just enough. Later and tighter sometimes can be better.
But they're not wasting any time checking. They're worried about Grissom getting on before Judge.
And they challenge, and they lose a challenge. ABS challenge by T-Mobile. So the call confirmed. It's tough when you challenge in the first inning and you lose that challenge. Now you got one to play with. 3-1. There's ball 4, so Grisham works a leadoff walk. Take a look at the arsenal of Perez on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
Well, he's got a couple of different kinds of breaking balls. The slider is the main secondary pitch. He's got some other ones. We saw a sweeper in there. They throw an occasional sinker and a cutter, but it's really four-seam slider are the two predominant pitches.
And I love his changeup. I think it's devastating. I mean, hitters swing and miss at it 60% of the time. 60%. And it's a new pitch for him that he's starting to incorporate more, and he's using against righties and lefties.
Judge on the road trip, 3 for 24. 2 of the 3 left the yard. Deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. A long home run for Judge, and the Yankees lead 2-1.
That's what I'm telling you. That slider doesn't move much. I'm telling you. When he leaves it up, because his arm angle is low, when he leaves it up, it's a spinner, and that's exactly what he threw to Aaron Judge. A spinner that was probably about waist high, that didn't have a lot of side-to-side break, didn't have any downward break. And look, 2-run homer after a walk. And this guy goes 99 to 100.
Bellinger swings and misses.
Belly's probably saying, thanks, Judge. You chapped him. Look, first pitch means 98. The thing about Yuri Perez, this young man was called up when he was 20 years old and 27 days, 2023, and then he had Tommy John in 24 and came back last year. But, I mean, he's got 100 in the tank. He's 6'8".
Bellinger, left center. And Conine collides with Marcy and holds on.
And here's what I'm talking about on Aaron Judge. They're lucky they didn't get hurt there, but it's just a slider that spins, kind of almost backs up, ends up leaving it waist high, and that's why I'm saying I don't see it, but the numbers tell you that it's a devastating pitch. And he leaves it middle in, and Aaron Judge knows exactly what to do with it. Hits it off about the front of his toe. Is the depth that he hits it, knows he has a home run, and the Yankees are up 2-1. And it's a good place to get your offense going, Yankee Stadium. I mean, the ballparks they were in are not home run hitting ballparks. San Francisco and Seattle. There's another one. Oh, man, baby. Hang it, you bang it. And I don't even think he got it all. I think that noise can be louder off his bat.
Judge had 20 home runs in the first inning last year, and that's a major league record, so this is his first in the first inning.
Can you imagine that, 20 home runs? It took me like 8 years to get 20 home runs.
You know, Aaron Judge is that type of hitter that when you see him struggle a little bit or he misses some pitches or off to a slow start, you know somebody's going to pay eventually.
Oh, yeah.
When he gets it going, he goes on some kind of run. He starts clicking.
And I think a lot of it has to do with his front foot. If his stride is a little bit too open or he starts too open, I think he gets in trouble. But if you're a pitching staff, you got to hate that. Oh, he's cold. Oh, boy, we're coming in. Oh, boy, he's going to get even somewhere.
And this might be the swing that gets him going.
Yeah, just a beautiful swing. He stays behind the baseball, gets it in the air.
And Joe, you'll love this. I was talking to Aaron Boone about Aaron Judge the other day, and I said, what do you look for from Judge to know that he's about to lock in? And he just looked at me and smiled and said, when he walks in the door. that could be the time when he walks in the door. He knows he's about to lock in.
Yeah, I'd feel pretty good about it any day I put him in the lineup.
And Rice goes down looking.
Tony, you talked about he can get into some long innings. That's 18 pitches already. You're going to see this ball. He's got a little run on his fastball. It's actually inside, but it's a smidgen inside. What happened to that hitter friendly?
Well, it's also Ben Rice showing some discipline and not challenging there. First inning. Didn't want to take a chance. You know, that's really the difference. It's the discipline that the Yankees have shown.
Yeah, here's Conine and Marcy running into each other. They haven't played a lot together because Conine missed most of last year separating his shoulder, so he never played the outfield with Marcy. And they're lucky that someone didn't really get hurt there.
Yes.
Because those are two thick individuals. And you think about when you play Marlins ballpark, there's probably not a lot of noise.
Right side. Norby on the run. Can't make the play. Tough play. Couldn't get there.
Looks like he's got his ski goggles on. Maybe he was expecting 1996 weather.
This looked like Goggins goggles, right? For Walter Goggins. The White Lotus. Yeah, those are Goggins goggles.
You got a pair of those?
I want a pair. I'll take one.
Got to be honest, David, I didn't have Goggins on my bingo card.
Goggins goggles? Yeah.
Ground ball, shortstop, Lopez. And that'll do it. But the Yankees take the lead because the captain does what, well, the captain does. 2 home runs on the road. Like that of market games every single week, plus live radio broadcast of every game, game day 3D, big inning, and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today. Otto Lopez, 7 for 22 in the first 6 games. And he's quickly down in the count, 0-2.
How about that, Conan? That's perfect pitching. From our vantage point, he threw the sweeper that went right to left and then the 2-seamer that went left to right. As a hitter, you're 0-2 before you know it. It's not fair. You guys are too good.
Now, last year, in his rookie year, Will Warren wore number 98, and he has switched to 29, a tribute to a cousin who passed away who had worn 29 in high school.
Well, that cousin's name is Nathan Griffith. He died in a boat accident at the age of 17. Will told me that number is so special not only to him but to his entire family. Meaningful every time he puts that jersey on, and his family watching too will also be thinking of Nathan.
Pretty good Yankee pitcher has worn number 29, Hall of Famer Catfish Hunter. Rafael Soriano also wore 29 in a more recent vintage, Gio Urshela and Austin Slater. Slater is now at the Marlins.
He was in spring training with Detroit. He asked for his release, and they had an injury and showed up. So you'll see him against left-handers.
And our very own Todd Frazier also wore number 29. Today on the pregame show, just a really nice suit. Didn't have a number.
He might have had it etched in the jacket.
Maybe. Not for us to see, though. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Will Warren.
You know, I think you can take a look at how good his stuff is. This Marlin team was number 1 in the fewest strikeouts. Now, I understand they played the White Sox in Colorado, but still, as a club last year, they didn't strike out. They put the ball in play, and he's done a really good job except for the solo homer.
Here's Owen Casey. Marlins got him from the Cubs in the Edward Cabrera deal. He was 43rd on Baseball America's top 100 prospects list. He said he liked the Cubs, he said, but he thought he was blocked there. Really hard to break through on that team, he said. Well, he's got an opportunity now.
You talked about how he was traded for Edward Cabrera. I think the Marlins did a good job in this trade. Cabrera is a free agent after the year, and you look at this young man. I mean, the #1 prospect for the Cubs, great raw power. He was also traded from the Padres to the Cubs for Yu Darvish, so he's been traded for some pretty good pitchers.
3-2. Seven for 20 to start the season. Yankees lead 2-1 on the Judge home run. Left side, McMahon. 2 outs.
Could you hear Austin Wells yelling, "He's got room, you got room"? Could you hear that? It's really a good job. I mean, as a catcher, you're taught to be that sometimes the eyes when the balls are in foul territory for your infielders.
Here's Connor Norby. Norby came up as a second baseman, played a lot of third last season. This year he's expected to play first for the most part. One and two.
See, by that swing, he's trying to get the ball in the air. And he's done a good job this year going the other way, even though they're played a little bit in center and left as a pull, because he did pull the ball a lot last year in the air. He's been using the other field a lot so far this year.
2-2. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts in 2 innings for Will Warren. We go to the bottom of the second. Yankees lead this one 2-1. And Aaron Judge, first inning home run, gave the Yankees the 2-1 lead. That's where we sit right now. Warren against Perez. Chisholm has gotten off to a slow start, 4 for 23 with 9 strikeouts. And facing his former team, the Marlins. You know, the Marlins are one of the teams in baseball. There aren't that many of them, but it seems like it might continue to add teams. They call every single pitch from the dugout. Both of their catchers are young, and they're fine without calling the pitches, but they're not going to learn to call pitches if it's called from the dugout, and that's what they do throughout the organization as well. Foul ball. And you can see what they've locked in because their starting pitching has the highest average velocity on a fastball of any team in baseball. And they throw the fewest fastballs in baseball. They spin the ball constantly, and that's being called from the dugout.
Well, I have a perspective on that from the catcher standpoint and being on the bench standpoint. I had a totally different feel catching a pitcher than I did managing a pitcher, in a sense that I felt like I was more in tune with what he needed to do and what type of stuff he had that day than when I was on the bench. To me, it was always hard to see. And there was always a feeling like there were times I would say, I know what the right pitch is here, but he's not executing it, so I can't call it. And I'm not sure you have that same feel from the bench. And what happens when you give up a 2-run homer on a hanging breaking ball? I mean, do you look like I ain't listening to you no more?
Now, between innings, our very own Meredith Morakovitz caught up with Garrett Cole.
Garrett, the starting rotation just continues to roll. Will Warren gives up the solo shot and locks back in. What do you think of his stuff so far this afternoon?
His fastball looks really good. He's using it to both sides of the plate, and it's been an effective pitch for him. He's been attacking the strike zone well.
Garrett, what's next for you, and how badly do you want to join this rotation when you see the way that they're pitching?
Yeah, I want a piece of it for sure. I got a bullpen coming up tomorrow, and then some hitters early next week, and we're off and running after that, hopefully.
Physically feel good?
Yeah, physically feel good.
Garrett, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Michael, we'll send it back up to you.
Well, thank you to Meredith and to Garrett giving us that time between innings. So Chisholm walks, and it's an 0-2 count on Austin Wells. Austin 3 for 16 in the early going.
So, like, what is your mindset when that happens as a pitcher?
There's so many layers to this, right, that you have to peel back and analyze. If you're calling pitches from the dugout based on probabilities of what's going to be successful, first of all, we've got espionage in today's game right there, the signals he's giving. We have the first base coach and the third base coaches in the box now because they were stealing signs or stealing the grips from the pitchers. How long before this espionage goes on when you figure out the code?
Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time. You can run against the Marlins. Hicks only catches 10.5% of base stealers.
Great jump. Off and running. Watch this jump. Wow, 4 or 5 steps.
Yeah, and you can see there's not a ton of arm strength there. The ball had a little bit of an arc to it in a sense. There are some catchers like a Jorge Posada. Man, did he have arm strength. And it was just on a straight line.
And Wells goes down. The other catcher on the Marlins, Ramirez, he threw out just 9% of base stealers last year or so. You pick your poison with either of them behind the plate. I think we'll see the Yankees run a lot this series.
Yeah, I would think so. And the one pitcher they're not going to see is Sandy Alcantara. And he gave up like 30 stolen bases last year, like 30 for 31 or something crazy. So they won't see him.
Here's Caballero.
15 for 19 off of the starter today, Perez. So, I mean, there has been success.
Runner goes. Throw to third. Another stolen base, the 4th of the season for Chisholm.
Yeah, and I didn't even think he got a great jump, but he's got great speed. He's got great explosion. And again, they don't throw well. The pitcher's somewhat, slow. And you can see him peek to left field to see if the ball went left field. Very good discipline on his part. I know he's having a hard time peeking when the helmet's over his eyes, but then he tried to look in the outfield to see where the ball was.
Infield comes in, 1-1 count. 1-2. Ryan McMahon on deck.
So how many layers are to that onion that you're peeling?
Wow, there's just a lot. I mean, if you're on the mound, you should have veto power on what pitch you want to throw, because it can change inning to inning in terms of feel.
Like, I feel like he's shaking here because it took a while.
Yes.
So obviously they have permission to shake.
Do you have to look in the dugout to shake?
No, I don't.
Look at your catcher?
I don't think anyone did. Yeah, because I think, we always talk about pitchers need to have conviction. They have to believe in that pitch. They're not going to execute it as well.
Well, there was talk that the Giants were going to call all the pitches from the dugout. Tony Vitello was a college coach. You do that in college. But they've got veteran pitchers, and they've got a really good catcher, and they talked him out of it.
Yeah, I think it's smart. I think you have to put the game in the players' hands because they're seeing it the best from their vantage point.
3-2. Ball 4. Now Caballero is a threat to go.
But in their defense, I do understand when you have young players, you may want to teach them, how to call a game, or a pitcher, how to navigate through a game. But I think eventually you got to turn them loose. And speaking of turn them loose, I got to believe Caballero's going in the first 2 pitches here.
Agreed. Very, very aggressive. When you think about both Chisholm and Caballero, they're not only great base stealers, but they're daring, very aggressive, not afraid at all.
Infield backs up a bit, trying to turn the double play, but not all the way back, kind of hedging the bet. There goes Caballero. The throw to second, not nearly in time. So the Yankees in this inning, 3 for 3 stolen bases.
And you see Caballero peek in to see if he was going to throw it. He's safe, easy.
And that stolen base forces them to bring the infield in again. Now you squeeze one through. It's 2 runs. The 1-0. McMahon 1 for 15 in the early going. Last year, the Yankees scored the runner from third base with fewer than 2 outs 54% of the time. That was the 5th best in the majors. Rip foul. Yankees 11-6 at this iteration of Yankee Stadium on this side of 161st and River. This is the 18th home opener at the new ballpark. Overall, in 123 home openers, Yankees are 82, 40, and 1.
How many of those you've seen, Michael? About 40?
35 as a broadcaster, 5 as a writer.
Yeah.
And then I won a couple
as a
times
kid.
as a fan.
Yeah.
Two. Count is full as Hicks faked the throw to third. That causes Jazz to dive back.
Well, you can see the Marlins are trying to keep Jazz close. Paulie's holding him on. He normally wouldn't be there with the left-handed hitter up, but he's trying to keep him close, and the catcher's doing a pickoff. There's that open lane for the catcher, so as the base runner, you have to be somewhat careful, because I still think the Yankees are going on contact here.
And McMahon works a walk, so that'll load the bases for Grisham. 3 walks in the inning for Perez, 4 in the game so far.
This is kind of right in the middle of our scouting report. It was trying to push his pitch count up. It's the one area that you can kind of get to him early in the game, and right here, 45 pitches here in the 2nd inning.
Daniel Moskos, the pitching coach, comes out. to talk with Perez. Imagine if one of the pitchers turns to him and said, "What are you talking to me for? You're calling the pitches."
But I don't think it's Daniel calling the pitches.
It's the assistant pitcher calling.
Yeah. He's saying, "Hey, look, we got you in trouble. You're on your own now."
That's Rob Marcello, who calls the pitches.
Coney, did you ever find in your career that it was much harder to pitch on the road? Because his home and road splits are really pretty far apart. His home, he's a 2.93 ERA. On the road, he's a 5.33.
A lot of pitchers feel that way. Just more comfortable at home, sleeping in your own bed.
Marlins looking for the double play, although the shortstop Lopez is in. And a strike.
I would like to see him swing at that slider that wasn't moving. But when you think about it, there's like a 13 or 14 mile an hour difference between his slider and his heater. It's a lot.
Yeah, he's got a big variance.
Joe, you got to explain the defensive configuration here. It's like, oh, okay, are we going to bring the infield in or not? Are we playing for the double play or not? Lopez is close to the grass. Edwards, the second baseman, is about 5 feet back. Why?
I think if they can turn two, they're going to turn two. If it's hit to Edwards or the first baseman, Norby. But if it's hit to the shortstop, he can also turn two. I was never a fan. You're either in or you're not.
Right.
Yeah. Because like Edwards backs up, and if the ball's hit to Edwards, there's a chance he's not going to be able to turn two, or he's not going to be able to get the hitter at home, the runner at home. So either scoot back or come in.
Now he's backed up a bit. Shortstop still in for the lefty swinging Grisham.
But to me, Michael, like I always used to say, is that really in?
Right.
Because he's a lot further away than the third or first baseman, because he's in the middle of the diamond and the bases are 90 there, and it's 126 feet from home to second. So he's a lot further back.
Bases loaded, 1 out. 3-2.
A really good job back-to-back here of laying off of some tough pitches out of the zone, forcing deep counts.
Ball 4. That forces in a run. Chisholm comes down the third baseline. He'll touch up, and the Yankees will lead 3-1. An RBI for Grisham. That's the 4th walk of the inning, the 5th of the game.
Yeah, and the Marlins are going to have to get somebody up because of the amount of pitches. He threw like 20 the first inning, and he's over 50 here. And I always thought 35-40 was the breaking point, especially with a young pitcher that's coming off of Tommy John.
Here's Aaron Judge, infield halfway. Judge with a long home run in the first inning, his 3rd of the year, a 2-run shot.
Oh, no.
That got him. Perez all over the place. That's going to force in another run. And the Yankees now lead 4-1, and they hold their breath.
Yeah, you hope that got more meat of the arm than it did bone. It was hard to see where it hit him. Oh, bottom of the wrist on the inside almost.
Pitch clock violation for Perez.
Yeah, it's kind of unraveling here, Michael, for him.
Squibb third base. They'll come home, and they get the force on McMahon. Bellinger reaches on the fielder's choice. Bases remain loaded with 2 outs. Here's Ben Rice. One and 0.
Just seems to me he's getting behind with a lot of early off speed, and I would think that you would chase more when you're sped up from his fastball.
Let's check out one of tonight's player props brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. Ben Rice to hit 1 or more home runs. It's plus 320. The Yankees would love to see one leave the yard here. That would be 4 with 1 swing. They lead 4-1.
Pitch is called the strike. The batter's challenging.
So Ben Rice is going to challenge. Pitch was called the strike. Challenged by T-Mobile. And it is in fact a strike.
New York loses their challenge. They have 1 remaining.
Yeah, but she just didn't pick that one up because that's clearly a strike.
And it's that deception I talk about sometimes with I don't see it, but it's obviously there. And what you don't want to happen is I think Ben Rice has really good command of the strike zone. Don't not challenge a pitch for 10 days because you missed one, right? If you really believe that there's one you should challenge, you need to continue to do it.
23 pitches in the first, 34 here in the second. This is 35. I wonder if he challenged that one because he struck out on a pitch in the first inning that was clearly a ball, and he didn't challenge. Probably looked at it when he got back to the game and said, I missed it.
Yeah, I think that probably had something to do with it, Michael. Yeah, it's a great point.
Bases loaded, 2-2 count. Yankees lead 4-1. Swing and a miss, got him. Well, the Yankees, they walk 4 times. They get hit by a pitch. They score 2 and leave the bases loaded. Keep climbing. Griffin Conine will lead off here in the third. Yankees lead 4-1. There's a strike. Conine's father, Jeff, referred to as Mr. Marlin. He played 8 seasons with the franchise across 2 different stints, an original Marlin in '93. And he actually played on both the '97 and the 2003 World Series champions, the only Marlin to play for both of those teams.
His son had a bad break last year, sliding head first, dislocated his shoulder, and ended up missing most of the season. He did it in the middle of April. Swinging the bat okay before he got hurt. So what happens on that changeup when it runs that much, Coney? Because that's too much.
Yeah, that means you're behind it. You kind of push it a little bit. You didn't. Your lower half's ahead of your upper half.
Warren. One away.
Great adjustment. Back-to-back changeup. The second one was much better than the first one. So that's what you love to see, is a quick adjustment on the fly.
And you go back-to-back, you got to feel what you did. It's not like 7 pitches or 8 pitches later where, okay, I forgot what I did. Now I need to make the adjustment. Really good.
There's Graham Pauley. Third baseman, last year 6 outs above average. That tied Ryan McMahon for 5th best in the majors at third base.
If I'm not mistaken, Michael, he did that in like 48 games.
Yeah.
He didn't play every day.
They've got good defense at second, short, and third in their infield. High fly ball. Right field. Drifting over is Judge. 2 outs.
Something interesting to me about Jacob Marcy. When he came up last year, that first month, he hit 352 with over 1,000 OPS. Second month, he hit 231 and a 619. He's struggled so far this year. Is this just a slow start, or has the league made an adjustment and he needs to adjust back? Because he's got a very good eye, and I believe he's going to hit because he sees the ball really well.
Shallow center field. And Grisham is there. Yankees return pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. Well, a rocky second inning for Perez. Now he faces Stanton leading off the bottom of the third. Ten for 20 on the road trip for Stanton.
You know, as I look out at the scoreboard, it just seems so like shocking. You look at the Marlins have 1 run on 1 hit. The Yankees have 4 runs on 1 hit.
One and two. Day started off overcast, gray. Now there's some blue sky above. Light still on, but the sun is trying to fight its way through. In on the hands and popped them up. Nice play by the shortstop Lopez.
This has got to be the toughest play. When you're the shortstop, you know you're going to hear footsteps. Does he see me?
And you've already seen him run into one person already.
You know who's the best at that? Derek Jeter was so good at that particular play. The pop-ups over the shoulder, running catches.
Yeah. He loved that play. It made it look so easy.
One of the best, I think, at doing that.
Line down the right field line. It's a fair ball and into the corner. Played out there by Casey. Sliding in the second with a double is Chisholm.
Yeah, he gets this ball down and in where lefties love it. You're going to take a look at this. You know what that is? Looks like that little slider he's got going. Hits it down in the right field corner. He knows he has to run because he hits it so hard, and that's a short corner down in right field. Owen Casey's got a pretty good arm. He's pretty accurate, and he knows he has to hustle. Now he's probably going to try to look to steal third base so he can get there with less than 2 outs.
Lopez right behind him, checking him at second. Wells takes inside.
Do you remember Vince Coleman? Vince Coleman used to, Sean Dunston would get right behind him when he was on. Vince Coleman would tell him, I'm still going. You know, he would just tell him he was going on that turf. He couldn't throw him out.
Fly ball, right field, backing up Casey on the track. Now on the grass, he makes the play. Tagging is Jazz, and he'll make it to third. Yankees running wild. We take a look at the Optimum Fiber famously fast replay.
Yeah, Jazz with 2 stolen bases today already. He steals second, then he steals third. Gets in scoring position. Caballero, first pitch, he goes. He's not wasting any time. Steals third, and Yankees are running wild here today, Michael.
Here's Caballero, runner at third, 2 outs. Yankees lead 4-1. Caballero walked and stole a bag in the second, came around to score. And a bunt. Hicks to first. That's a nice play by the catcher to get Caballero for the final out. No runs, a hit, no errors. 1 man left on base. 3 in the books. Yankees lead this one 4-1. 18. And they just lent the gold medals to the catchers. Lent them. They're going to keep them. But
that would have been high stepping back into the dugout.
Now, Meredith, you spoke with them, right?
Now, Michael, interestingly enough, both Jack and Aaron are both Yankees fans growing up. Aaron's family was here to watch her throw out the first pitch, and I asked if they gave her any advice, and she simply said, they said, make sure you throw a strike. Now, interestingly enough, she went to Northeastern at the same time as Cam Schlittler, so they were able to catch up prior to the game. I was going to ask her if she had any interesting stories about Cam, but she just went on to say that it's so cool seeing another person from her college succeed at a major level. So pretty cool watching those two catch up. And Jack Hughes did admit maybe a little bit of nerves when he was going out there to throw that first pitch here at Yankee Stadium. Not in the Olympics, but to throw out the first pitch here.
Now, Meredith, does Jack still have the cracked teeth, or did he get them fixed yet?
Totally fixed.
Really?
Well, it looked like, I mean, I didn't ask to examine his dental work, Michael. That would have been weird.
And did they let you try on the gold medals?
Unfortunately, I did not have the opportunity. I was rushing over to the set to do the pregame show. But, hey, maybe if I run into him again, I will ask.
Good stuff.
You know, Michael, Aaron's 97-year-old grandma, Lydia, is in Calvary Hospital in the Bronx. And she calls the people that help her, the staff, family, because they described every moment of the Olympics to her because she doesn't see. And they did the same thing on the first pitch today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying the game.
Yeah, we're deep into Girardi's binder on that little nugget.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good right there.
Did you not read the note from Jared? How exciting were the Olympics, though, the hockey? And I'm not a huge hockey fan, but I was glued to the TV for those games. The women beat the Canadians twice.
Fantastic, really. I mean,
overtimes.
And dramatic, too, the finish. Always that drama at the end. Harking back to, obviously the 1980 team.
Yeah.
Up the middle, almost got Warren. Right there is Caballero. And another 1-2-3 inning for Will Warren. He's retired 11 in a row since Milwaukee Bucks history and a Gold Glove finalist in each of the last 5 seasons. Now he's in the American League. He might grab one this time. And if you're a quarterback for that high school, you're a big-time quarterback. And he will lead off, takes a pitch outside, 1-0.
Do you know what ex-Yankee went to modern day?
No.
Bobby Meacham.
Really?
Yeah.
So, David, let me throw this at you.
So.
Talk about, in basketball and football, more in football, time of possession. Warren has been on the mound for just over 16 minutes and 4 innings. Perez, 32 minutes to pitch 3 innings. Does that take something out of you?
Yes. takes that emotionally too.
Yeah, he's been in trouble because of his command all day, so he's had to make those stressful pitches that you're talking about.
Yes.
Three and one.
It's a guy that's throwing 100 miles an hour. He's only throwing 35 four-seamers, 35 fastballs. Out of 75 pitches, Coney?
Yeah, no, it's well under 50% usage, more down closer to 30% usage. So, yeah, I mean, that's obviously the sequencing that they want from the bench. They're calling the pitches, and that's the mix they see gives him the best chance.
And he walks another. Second time he's walked McMahon.
One of the problems I have, Michael, with it is that there's a theory that if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's the key with a fastball. If you don't throw enough fastballs, you're going to lose some velocity. And then that feeds off of your other pitches, too, because you need extension. You need to really extend to throw your best fastball, and that helps your other pitches as well. And if you don't throw enough of them, you know, it's hard to rely on it when you do go to it.
Grisham could not hold up. 0-1.
Interesting enough, his last start, he threw his four-seamer 46% of the time. He threw it 11% more than he has. And the other thing, is it hard as a pitcher when you're bouncing around so much between pitches to find a feel for certain pitches?
Absolutely it can. You know, Mel Stoudemire and I used to have this conversation a lot about starting games, about not trying to mix too many pitches in at once. And try to get through the lineup one time, see what's happening. See if you're allowing weak contact. Get it on the ground. Let your fielders help a little bit early in the game. Get quick outs when you can. Coming out of the bullpen, you try to mix in your whole arsenal right away. You can get caught in between in the beginning.
Up the middle. And that's a double play. Now it's time for Discipline That Delivers, brought to you by Vanguard. And Aaron Judge delivered in the first inning. Third home run of the year. And his 190th home run at Yankee Stadium.
Well, we were here for his first, Michael. I think Joe Torre was in the booth, and he hit one almost off the scoreboard. So we saw number one. We just saw number 190 here at Yankee Stadium.
Now, in his career, he's hit 388 home runs. And a lot of people say, well, you know, he's helped by Yankee Stadium, short porch and right. Only 10 of those home runs were Yankee Stadium home runs. That's it. That it only would have left the yard here. 170 of the 388 would have been home runs in any of the 30 ballparks.
Oh, I think that he's built for Yankee Stadium. I mean, he modeled his game around Yankee Stadium, and that's a smart hitter. I mean, I think you see a lot of left-handed hitters at Fenway model themselves to hit the ball the other way because of the wall. Because that's a big ballpark to right field, and it's hard to hit it out of.
I just have a hard time looking at 6'7", 280 and think cheap home runs. I mean, this guy could hit one out of Yellowstone.
And Judge down on strikes. No runs, no hits, and because of the double play, nobody left. We go to the fifth inning. Sports out. Lopez leads off against Warren. Warren has retired 11 in a row after Edwards' first inning home run. And there's going to be a challenge on the strike call. T-Mobile challenge. And they win the challenge. It was barely a ball.
Challenge. They have one remaining.
Wow, less than 0.1 inches.
One thing this challenge system has shown me is that these umpires are good. I mean, you expect an umpire to get that that pitch right, but by that margin, no, these guys are better than they've been given credit for. And I believe at the end of the day, that will be shown, and there will be more sympathy for the umpires. Although that's not in their it's not in our nature to give sympathy to umpires.
No, because we're going to remember the one pitch.
Yes.
How do you think it affects a pitcher? Like, Will Warren thought it was 0-1, and all of a sudden it was 1-0, and then he threw 2 balls right after that.
It could be a letdown. You really have to prepare yourself for anything.
And there's nothing that's really prepared you for it because you've never been through it.
Strike 3. Lopez down looking.
Right on the black with a 2-seamer. Watch it right at the end. Little movement right to the corner.
And I believe him moving to the third base side of the rubber helps him with this. It gives him a better angle to make that pitch.
I agree. And he lands slightly across his body too. So that builds in some deception as long as it doesn't mess up his release point. But he seems to like it. Pitching coaches like it. The look under the hood and all the numbers and the metrics like it. And he seemed to have gained a little bit of velocity over there too. So something biomechanically works better for him over there. Frees up his hips or allows him to post up on his land leg and firm that up better to create more arm speed. So many layers to peel back when you're looking at biomechanics, but
I think the most important thing that you said there is he likes it. So he's going to be willing to do it. They got buy-in, and it's been successful.
The buy-in's the key.
Drilled to right field and deep. Judge back on the track, turning, looking, gone. A home run for Casey. Second home run allowed by Warren, and it's 4-2 Yanks.
Well, he was the #1 prospect for the Chicago Cubs, and they loved his raw power. And he's very young and has always played at higher levels at a young age. His second home run of the year, he had one earlier this year that was a walk-off out over the plate. And he knows he's got it. Good swing. Compact.
It's a strong swing right there.
Yeah.
You go out and yank that pitch up and away.
He's only 23 years old, and he can have it back.
Norby with a ground ball to Caballero.
You know, you see a lot of times the hitters kind of like move their head to one side or the other. Should I challenge? Should I not challenge? I don't know.
How do you think O'Neill would have done with this challenge system?
We would have been out of challenges in the first inning. He would have challenged everything. He would have liked it though. And I probably would have saved a few coolers.
One and two on Conine.
See if he comes back with. Remember the last time he threw one like that and he missed by a lot, and then he came back with it and threw a perfect pitch.
Strike 3. Conine down looking. 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left on base. We're halfway through. Yankee guard, discipline that delivers. And by your local Tri-State Genesis retailer. Learn more at genesis.com. Some of the players that model both uniforms. Cody Bellinger leads off against a new pitcher for the Marlins. It's Tyler Phillips.
Pitch is called a strike. Batter's challenging.
All right, so that's called a strike, and Cody Bellinger is going to challenge. T-Mobile challenge. And it is...
Call's confirmed. New York loses their challenge. They have no more challenges remaining.
Yankees are out of challenges here in the 5th inning.
God, all these calls have been close. We've talked about how good the Yankee starters have been, and their bullpen's been really good too. The Marlins bullpen, 17 2/3 inning, .51 ERA, and they have not given up a run in the 7th, 8th, or 9th so far this year. And as young as their position players are, their bullpen is experienced. A bunch of 30-year-old guys that have done it. Fairbanks at the end. Good stuff, power arms.
Into left center field, long run from Marcy. He's not going to get there, and it bounces over the wall for a double for Bellinger.
Looked like a decent pitch down in the zone. Marcy seemed to get a pretty good jump. This ball took off. I mean, that's a long ways.
About 397 feet.
Yeah. And you don't get a home run for it. That's the bad part. But it was a breaking ball out over the plate, and he just stayed with it, drove it the other way.
Here's Ben Rice, struck out twice. Now, when Bellinger became a free agent at the end of last year, he had a 5.1 WAR with the Yankees, and it just seemed like this is a marriage that has to go on. He's built at this ballpark. And if you look at his numbers at home last year, he had 302 with 18 home runs, an OPS of 909. And on the road, he dropped down to 241, 11 home runs, an OPS of 715. This was the place he really belonged.
Yeah, I agree completely. And not only that, he's a ball player. He can play anywhere. And that fits the roster as well as anybody. Center field, first base, play all 3 outfield positions, and play them well. That positional versatility, Joe, I mean, you as a manager, I mean, that is just gold.
Well, it allows you to rest people. It allows you to put people in the DH spot when you have so much versatility. And if you have one guy that covers 4 spots and plays at a really high level, that's invaluable. Coney, he's got that pretty good split like you had, this young fella. But he'll get it up to 97.
Three and two. And that is strike 3, and Rice did not like that call. He was headed to first. He thought it was ball 4.
Well, if you're looking for the next rule change, this is probably going to be it. And the system they're testing in AAA right here this year, that would have been overturned.
It would not have been a swing.
Would not. They're using the foul lines. So it'd be the third base line for a left-handed batter and the first base line for a right-handed batter. To cross the foul line with your bat would be the demarcation point for a check swing call. So, yes. Stanton would have to, his bat would have to cross the first base foul line.
High fly ball right field. Casey makes the play. Heading back is Bellinger. Cooking up something special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. Home run leaders, active home run leaders. Stanton leads with 454. Mike Trout off to a good start, 406. Then Goldschmidt, Judge, and Machado.
He's got a chance if he stays healthy to get to 500.
Now, according to our good friends at Stats, it's the first time since 1889 that a team has 3 of the top 5 active home run leaders. That's what the Yankees have. Goldschmidt, Judge, and Stanton.
I think you can make an argument, too. There's 5 Hall of Famers right there.
Mm-hmm. Now, David, I'm listening to you say about the check swing. The foul line, I mean, that's almost going around. I would say the beginning of the batter's box would be more realistic, don't you think?
This is the way they're testing it, and obviously in the way the game has gone towards pitching over the last several years, and trying to help the offense a little bit here.
Right.
The challenge system, I think, is pro offense, pro batter. I think the check swing rule would be pro batter as well. So I think that's a little bit of the thought process going in. That strikeouts are so high nowadays, pitchers are so nasty.
You guys are going to get complexes. Everything is against you.
I think they're doing all right. What the average hitter's hitting about 240.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three and two.
I tell all the pitchers that I pitch with over the years, Joe, that doesn't matter what the rules are, what the ballpark is. We get another look at that changeup or that splitter. Jazzes over the top. It's the same for the other guy. You know, if the run environment is a tough place to pitch, small ballpark, wind blowing out, whatever, umpire, everything's against you. Well, it's against the other guy too. So that's what you got to think about. Be better than the other guy. It's the same environment.
Strike 3. Chisholm down looking, so the leadoff double is wasted. We're going to the 6th inning. It's 4-2 Yankees.
Beyond excited to pitch under the lights here in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium. He told me how meaningful it is to him to be a part of this organization and to be putting the pinstripes on in a regular season game for the first time here at home. Now, his first start in Seattle, he told me after the game there was a lot of added adrenaline. He just wanted to get that first out of the way, and then we really saw it. After that, he settled in and went to work. He said he expects it'll be a lot of the same tomorrow, trying to figure out how to harness that energy early in the game. And to add to it all, Max Meyer was one of his best teammates, favorite teammates, when he was a member of that Marlins team. This is obviously going to be the first time they are facing off against each other. They spoke earlier today. I asked him, who do you think has the advantage when you look at some of those hitters in the batter's box, knowing them so well? He just looked at me and said, I think I have the advantage, obviously. So we shall see how it all plays out tomorrow night.
Good stuff. 6:30 is the pregame, as we mentioned. A 7 o'clock first pitch right here on Yes. So Paulie grounds out to second for the first out. And there's a strike to Jacob Marcy, 1-1. Yankee bullpen heating up. Fernando Cruz beginning to throw. 71 pitches for Warren. High fly ball, right field. Judge back, battling the sun. He's on the track. He makes the play. It's time to name that Yankee. Brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. 256 average, 393 hits, 24 home runs. So this is a 4. Not that difficult, I guess. Yankee in 2024, Cub last year, Marlin 2019 to 2023, and then started with the Blue Jays. Here's Edwards, a home run in the first inning against Warren. Warren's given up 2 hits. They both left the yard. Edwards a home run, Casey a home run. Yankees lead 4-2, top of the 6th. Warren threw 83 pitches on Saturday. He's at 73 right now. And a strike.
Warren's strike rate exceptionally good today, especially with his fastball. 23 for 35, 66% strike rate with that pitch. And that sets up everything for him. The sinker, the sweeper.
Yeah, I think his sinker has been excellent today. Just the late movement on it, it's got a lot of downward movement, and he's able to throw it to both sides of the plate.
Yeah, 14 for 19 strikes with that pitch as well. So his fastball leads the way again.
And that one's through for base hit between Rice and Jazz Chisholm. 2-out single for Edwards.
And this one gets a little bit too much of the middle of the plate, Coney, and it's up. It's kind of the ball he hit out, but the ball he hit out was a four-seamer. That was a two-seamer. I think he wanted to get it down more, and he left it up, and he is a threat to steal. 1 for 1 so far this last. He had 27 stolen bases last, and he has talked about wanting to run more.
Matt Blake with a trip to the mound. As Warren will face Ramirez. Runner on first with 2 outs. We're in the 6th inning. Yankees lead 4-2.
And I think this trip to the mound is getting back on track in a sense, but also trying to get Tim Hill ready for Liam Hicks. I mean, that's really important that Liam Hicks probably sees a left-hander the next time. Only hit 196 off him last year.
Going to be a really tough play. Fielded by Warren. Fires to first. Not in time. Just beat it out. Let's see the Yankees challenge. No, they will not.
Well, heck of a play by Warren just to make it this close, and clearly the foot's on the bag before the ball's caught. But the fact that Warren had to go that far and make this play and make it that close, that was really good.
Well, that is going to do it for Warren. He leads 4-2. Tying runs are on base. Hicks coming up. Hill coming in. Warren gets a nice hand from the crowd. Well, Tim Hill got ready in a hurry, as they wanted him to come in for Hicks, and that's exactly what they've done. It'll be Hill against Hicks. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. Top of the 6th. Yankees up by 2. Hicks so far this year is 7 for 17. He has 3 home runs and 12 runs batted in. Edwards at second. Ramirez is at first. And Hill, bare hands. And he does what Tim Hill does. As the Marlins lead 2, we go to the bottom of the 6th. Begins with the FanDuel Yankees pregame at 6:30. Then first pitch will be shortly after 7 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Well, Phillips pitched a scoreless 5th on a relief of Perez. And now it'll be the bottom third of the Yankee order against Phillips. Wells, Caballero, and McMahon. Yankees lead 4-2. Yankees got 2 runs in the first on the Aaron Judge home run. And then they got 2 runs in the second. A bases loaded walk and a bases loaded hit by pitch on the arm, just below the wrist of Aaron Judge. So he has 2 ribbies on the day. Yankees lead by 2. Both Marlins runs coming via the home run. A home run by Edwards in the first, home run by Casey in the 5th. So Will Warren goes 5 2/3 in his second start of the year, and he leaves with a lead.
must be something about the Yankee hitters that they feel that they have to throw a ton of breaking balls, because that was a 3-0 split. We saw it from Perez. I mean, not a lot of fastballs.
That seems to be the thinking around baseball, because never before have pitchers universally thrown harder. I mean, the average velocity with a four-seamer is higher than it's ever been, but there's more usage of breaking balls than ever before.
The highest slugging percentage is on fastballs. So if you look at the numbers behind the scenes, that's what they're looking at.
Well, they used to say the harder it comes in, the harder it goes out, right?
Now, how about the saying, though, you can't hang a four-seamer, but you can hang a breaking ball?
I don't know. You can throw some right down the middle, go a long ways.
If you look at the data across the board for all starting pitchers, especially, the vast majority of damage is done off of their fastballs as opposed to their best secondary pitches.
So we're chasing velocity as like a looky-loo to set up the breaking ball?
Well, no, I think the harder you throw, the sharper a breaking ball is too. The more spin rate you're able to put on it, the more movement you're able to. It helps your breaking ball.
Absolutely. It comes along for the ride. We've seen that with Will Warren. We talked about his velocity's up a couple of ticks this year. So is his off-speed stuff. It comes along for the ride.
There's Caballero. And a strike. Yankees walked 7 times today.
I would say that's a big part of their DNA. The walk, the home run, you get the home run from it, and the stolen bases. I mean, that's the one thing you don't think about when you're playing the New York Yankees is the stolen bases. They were 8th in all of baseball last year in stolen bases.
Wells goes. That one's bobbled. And that'll allow Caballero to reach. Probably be scored in E5.
But the speed of Caballero is what makes Grant Pauly rush there. He knows that he has to hurry and get rid of this ball, and it looks like it hits off the top of his glove, not the heel, but the top of it, and he doesn't secure it, and now the Yankees got first and second. It'll be interesting how the Yankees play this. Would Ryan McMahon try to bunt for a base hit here? Yeah, he gets out of the box so well. He's always running hard. And speed rushes infielders or even outfielders on certain plays. It rushes them too, causes mistakes.
Ryan McMahon will take a strike. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Now, just to back up David's point, and Joe as well, slugging against pitches last year. Hitters slugged .431 against fastballs, .377 against breaking balls, .356 off speed.
That's because they call the cutter a fastball. That pitch gets waffled.
Driven out to left field. On the run, Conine make the play. Tagging as well as he's going to third. And he's in there with a nice slide. He took Caballero by surprise because he's still at first.
Well, I think Caballero got way out, and it was a really good read by Austin Wells because he saw that Conine was sprinting hard towards the line. The sun was giving him some issues, so he said, you know what, I'm going to go back and tag because I think he's going to struggle. And you can see he's going away from third base when he catches it. Really good hustle. Now Caballero can see it.
It's the right time to take a chance. Now you're at third with 1 out.
And he slid away from the tag.
Who said catchers can't run?
"30 years ago, I saw a catcher run on a triple that, wow, looked like it was flying."
Maybe you were comparing that to your speed.
Caballero's going, then stop. About that throw to third.
You don't see that very often.
That's like a lefty throw to first. Yankees looking for some insurance for their bullpen. And he is telling Phillips, you've got to look at the batter. You've got to address the batter.
It's a good time for the old Jeff Nelson move right here, right? Fake to third, throw to first.
Can't do that anymore, though.
You can't?
No.
You can step off, right? You can step off.
Yeah.
Fake it to third.
There goes Caballero. A strike, no throw, another stolen base. And that'll force the Marlins to bring the infield in. On Trent Grisham. Trent's walked twice and wrapped into a double play. Picked up a ribby on one of the walks. Big cut, foul ball. Crowd of 48,788 here at Yankee Stadium. A sellout for the home opener. Turned into a really nice day. And the sun has actually won the battle with the clouds. Ripped down the right field line. It is a foul ball. And a hug for the catch.
Good catch.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bullet. Probably saved somebody. Behind them, for sure.
Never, ever forget that kid. Watch his play.
What a day.
You're right. He did save somebody right behind him, right there. That poor lady right there.
In the gray, I think she's in trouble.
3-2.
Phillips has shown you a starter's repertoire. He's curveball, slider, a sweeper, a split, 97-mile-an-hour sinker.
Second and third. Infield in. 1 out. Yankees up by 2. And that's ball 4. Third walk.
Pitch called the ball. The catcher's challenge.
Now the catcher's going to challenge that ball call.
You think it's a strike?
I do.
I don't. You're right, Coney.
Wow, the T-Mobile challenge. So from
Pitch
a
is strike.
bases
I'm going to
loaded.
retain the challenge. I have
Now
one
a
remaining.
strikeout, second and third. And Judge coming up.
This is perfect use of this challenge call by the catcher. Kind of a backup, backdoor slider.
Yeah, and the way he caught it with his hand going away from the strike zone made me think that it was a ball.
So did the umpire.
Yep. So framing still is really important, because if they were out of challenges, they would have been in trouble.
2-0 on Judge. First base is open, but there's a righty on the mound, the lefty, Bellinger on deck.
A little surprised they're not putting him on here. 3-0.
He threw a splitter on 3-0.
Smart pitch. I mean, you can't get beat in this situation because you do have an open base. And I know Belly's a very accomplished hitter, but you're in a really tough count.
And a sweeper on 3-1.
And I would think it would be hard for Aaron Judge because you're probably thinking, they're not going to throw me a strike here. You end up taking, then you take another one.
And he works a walk. So now the bases are loaded for Bellinger.
It's a very important spot in the lineup for the Yankees is the guy who hits behind Aaron Judge, because this is going to happen a lot.
And I believe the guy that hits in front of him is just as important. Because if you have a runner on first, it's really hard for a manager to say, put somebody on.
0-1. Yankees lead 4-2. Bases loaded here in bottom of the 6th. 2 outs. One and one. See Michael Peterson warming. One and two.
Well, the new scoreboard here in center field, just gorgeous. Clear as a bell.
As in Bellinger?
Yes.
And that one gets away. Scoring as well. Moving to third, Caballero. Judge goes to second. Yankees lead 5-2 on the wild pitch.
The one thing about being on one knee is you don't have a lot of range, and this ball's pretty far over. And it takes a really high hop, it comes back to him and hits off of his chest. I'm not sure there's much he could have done on that. It's a break for Yankees because it looked like that possibly they might not score a run. Good read by Wells, always being aggressive, but not too aggressive when there's a left-handed hitter up, because you cannot get picked off at third to end an inning.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Still 2-2. Fly ball. Drifting back Marcy and makes the play. Yankees get a run. No hits, 1 error, 2 men left. We move to the 7th inning. Yankees up by a score 5-2. The home opener. Yankees 5-1. So are the Marlins. Here's Otto Lopez to start it off. And Jake Bird has come on for the Yanks. 1-0. So Tim Hill came on to get the final out of the 6th, and now they turn to Bird. Fly ball. Grisham battles the sun, puts it away. Now, Meredith, I saw you talking to Jake Bird today.
Now, Michael, as we know, he was acquired at the deadline last year, but struggled when he came over to the Yankees. He actually never pitched here at Yankee Stadium last year. In fact, he has never been here to Yankee Stadium at all. Today was his first trip to the Bronx. He was excited about being here, but Michael, sometimes half the battle is just getting in the ballpark. He wanted to get here early. He wasn't sure about traffic, wanted to take a look around, get the lay of the land. He went to the door that they told him to go to, but he was so early that there was nobody there to open it, so he had to walk around the outside of the ballpark to gate 2 to eventually get in. Once he did, he said he did a couple laps, looked around, got comfortable, and now we see him on the mound in pinstripes for the first time here in the Bronx for the 2026 season.
I'll tell you what, if he was going in where the players going in, there was nobody there. He got his steps in if he had to go all the way to gate 2.
Oh, yes.
Well, I think he went maybe gate 4 to gate 2, so not too bad,
okay.
Michael, but he's here. That's the bottom line.
Excuse me, let me in. I play for the Yankees. Yeah, right. Get out of here, kid. No, I'm a player.
Hey, it could have been worse, David. We've had guys over the years, opposing players, that get in an Uber and say, take me to the baseball stadium, and they wind up in Queens. That would have been bad.
When I was managing the Marlins, I had a couple players tell me they took the train and they ended up in Coney Island instead of Yankee Stadium. This will be a little late. I said, just get here.
Strike 3. Remember, Bird made his debut for the Yankees against the Marlins in a hard weekend for the Yanks where they got swept in really painful games. He'd just been traded, didn't have much rest. They put him into a game that didn't go well, and he only pitched 3 games for the Yankees, and they sent him down the minors. He never made his way back up, but they still believed in his stuff, and they feel that he's going to be really a big-time contributor for them.
Well, he's that classic East-West. You know, we have a lot of North-South guys, up and down. He's that in and out with the sinker and the sweeper.
Yeah, he's got a really tight spinning sweeper, too. Yeah, curveball to go with it. That's a dandy right there.
Yeah.
The first batter he got on the back door and with the sweeper and got him looking. Boy, that's high quality. The movement profile on that, the spin.
It has to be hard to get that really good downward break with his arm angle from the side, you know, because it's going to have more of the side sweep, but he's doing a pretty good job with his curveball. Oh, I don't miss those.
Was that more umpire than
more
Wells?
Umpire? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot more umpire. I'm not even sure. I think it nipped Wells. No. Oh, little bicep, shoulder. Better than the head, though.
Swing and a miss. That's an impressive 1-2-3 inning for Jake Bird. He gets the Marlins in order. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead this one by a score of 5-2 on the home opener, but we'll stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please... Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind as the York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Air Force Senior Master Sergeant Myra Winnie from Albany, New York, who is still on active duty and has served in Operation Deep Freeze, Operation Inherent Resolve, and numerous other operations. The Yankees say, thank you, Myra, for your sacrifice and service to our nation. Please direct your attention to the microphone behind home plate and welcome from the United States Military Band at West Point, Sergeant Major Carla Loy Song. She will now sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ford scoreboard 5-2. Yankees lead as we start the bottom of the 7th inning. Cleanup hitter Ben Rice will face Michael Peterson, the new pitcher. And a strike.
So that pitch right there is called a changeup, right? That's his slider. It almost goes straight down. And that's why I always have a hard time figuring out why it's called a slider and not maybe a smaller curve or.
So 1-2 on Ben Rice. He struck out 3 times today. That one is drilled to right field. That ball is foul. Seemed like it was comfortably foul, but he was running down the first baseline. He thought it had a chance, but it hooked.
It was 110 miles an hour off his bat. Just a rocket.
That one is drilled to right field. That's staying fair. See ya. A bullet into the short porch, and the Yankees lead 6-2.
Coney, that's called not learning your lesson. Did he see what he did to the pitch before?
It's the exact same swing.
I mean, I gotta change speeds or something, or I'm not trying to go in. I'm going way up or way away. And this is what he's done all year. I mean, when he makes contact, it's 95 plus. And there's another one. That's 11 out of 15 at bats, 95 plus.
Well, that was 111 miles an hour.
Well, it's still, that's over 95. But there's a lot that are over 100 too.
Yeah.
That changes his whole day because he had the 3 strikeouts earlier, and then it just changes your whole day. And that's the first run the Marlins have given up in the 7th inning or later. And this, I mean, you could tell by the sound of the bat. The ball wasn't going to be in play anywhere. It was either foul or it was a home run.
Yeah, if you blinked, you missed it.
Here we go. Let's try to go back in there. No. Belt high, middle of the plate. Loud noises.
That man is a monster in the batter's box.
Popped up. Lopez makes the play.
Yeah, Paul loves this view. You can see how deep he hits this ball. I mean, it's off of his front knee. I mean, people talk about you got to get the head out. The head doesn't have to be out. You just have to be behind the baseball, and that's exactly what he did. And that's why he impacted it so hard. Loved it. He didn't know if it had enough height to get out.
That's a great point. He was so stacked over his body. No sway at all.
No.
Jazz Chisholm, fly ball. Marcy almost didn't have to move. Help America's Heroes. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to t2t.org.
I'd like to see him get his first home run right here.
He just missed one. His
Yeah.
first time up, second time up.
1-0. Peterson represented Great Britain in the WBC. He's from San Jose, but he was born in England. 31 years old, third big league season. Big guy, 6'7".
Yeah, they don't seem to like you here unless you're 6'5" and above. Started with 6'8" today. He's got like that old-time stretch when he goes way up high. I mean, it's like something you see in a cartoon.
And there is ball 4. Wells walked for the second time. Now, this is a big day for everybody, but it's a huge day for Dan Fiorito. He's the Yankees' new first base coach. He's from Yonkers, went to Fordham Prep, Manhattanville College, undrafted, went into the Yankee system, made it as high as AAA, and then went into coaching. He's waited a long time. Yankees have loved him as a coach down in the minors, and he finally gets his big league turn. And what he must have felt coming out to the line, being introduced with the team, and I know meant a lot to him on the road being introduced with the team. And here he is, a Yankee, a long, long wait to put on those home white pinstripes.
Well, he definitely put it in his time. And whether he was a player, he was a coach. He managed in the minor leagues for the Yankees. He managed, I think, Volpe and Wells. He was the infield coordinator the last couple of years, so he's worked with a number of the players. Yeah, he's put his time in. It's great to see.
Another Fordham guy?
Fordham Prep.
Oh.
Manhattanville College.
Yep. There's a strike to Caballero. Two and one. Caballero, a walk, reached on an E5, and he has 2 stolen bases on the day. Just clipped the outside corner. Remember, the Yankees are out of challenges. Yankees up by 4, 6-2. Runner was going on 2-2, fouled away. Wells is feeling frisky today, tagging up at second, going to third.
Day off yesterday, Michael.
You're right.
I mean, he went a long time before he was thrown out. He had a lot of pride in that.
Goes again. Swing and a miss. Caballero down on strikes. Usually when you miss a home run, like Rice did, you don't get another chance. Well, this time he kept it fair. A bullet into the short porch and right. A Yankee Stadium Sports app now and get game highlights, post-game sound, and original content like Cam Schlittler on the latest episode of The Grid. New pitcher for the Yankees, Brent Hedrick. And Austin Slater will pinch hit for Griffin Conine. And there's a strike. Eighth inning, Yankees up by 4, 6-2.
Slater was another one of those Yankees that was traded for last year who it did not start off well with. He pulled his hammy right away.
Yep.
Frustrating for him, frustrating for the Yankees. Acquired at the deadline.
Popped up. Jazz Chisholm says, I want it, and he gets it. It's time to find out who that name that Yankee is. Brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. Those are the clues. A little birdie told me who this is. John Birdie. Knew how to play the game.
Led the league in stolen bases one year. Versatile player. He was a good little player.
Heriberto Hernandez pinch hitting for Graham Pauley. Clayton McCullough, second-year manager of the Marlins, has 4 righties on the bench, and the Yankees going to Hedrick. He's emptying out the bench now to get those righties in. One and two. Another right-hander up for them. And down goes the pinch hitter Hernandez. Well, Will Warren gave up 2 runs. So right now, 7 starts for the Yankees. Fried, Schlittler, Warren, Weathers. 2 runs or fewer in all 7 starts. It's the second time in Yankees franchise history that they allowed no more than 2 runs in each of the first 7 starts of the season. And the other time was in 1911. Jacob Marcy swings and misses.
That's when games were like 58 minutes.
That the Herb Pennock era? Who was leading that staff?
We have Hippo Vaughn,
Hippo,
Ray Fisher, Ray Caldwell, Harry Abels, Hippo again, and then Russ Ford and Jack Quinn. The streak ended at 7. Looked like the old 6-man rotation. That's an impressive inning for Hedrick. Yankee bullpen dealing again. They get the Marlins 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's time for the first pitch. Fresh air and sunshine. Corona. This is our playa. Hyundai scoreboard 6-2 Yankees lead bottom of the 8th inning. New pitcher for the Marlins is Lake Bacher. Rhymes with soccer. .30 years old, 3rd big league season. And the pitch is low to Ryan McMahon. I think you'd get along with Bacher, David, because he's into ghost. He watches paranormal videos on YouTube, even brought ghost hunting equipment, an EMF meter to detect changes in electromagnetic fields. I think you could talk with him.
Wow. That's a different level.
And he was going to check it out at Milwaukee's famous Pfister Hotel, which is supposed to be haunted, but he went on paternity leave for that series.
So do you think he was upset he didn't get to go?
Probably was happy being a dad, but he wanted to see a ghost. Yeah.
Take it out to Monument Park.
Ghosts are out there. And down goes McMahon. And that'll bring up Trent Grisham, Car Shield Defensive Player Profile. From 19 through 2024, plus 29 defensive run saves. Drop last year, he was minus 11. And a lot of that, Yankees feel, was because of the hamstring issue that he had, that he played through all year. So far this year, he's had 0 defensive run saves, so he's not in the minus. And obviously, as the season moves along, he'd like to push it up to where he was for the previous years before last season.
And when you have a hamstring issue like that, it's that first step that you don't have anymore. And there's some fear that it's going to pull on that first step. I always find it hard to believe that a person can fall off that much in 1 year. And you see it a lot of times in framing, where a guy will be like plus 10 1 year and then minus 4 the next. I'm like, how is that possible? Right? Sometimes some of the stats that are out there don't tell you the truth, because it, like for the framing, it could be the umpire you got that day that gave you a lot of pitches in a sense.
Yeah, that's why the larger sample sizes give you more clear reads, especially defensively. The metrics can be noisy with smaller sample sizes. Same thing with framing.
And also, I get the sense, I don't know if you guys agree, they're still a little off. They have not perfected defensive metrics. It's not black and white.
They're getting better.
They are getting better.
Better than the days when Rafael Palmeiro won the Gold Glove, played 8 times at first base. So.
You mean he didn't play good defense DH?
The DH didn't get the Gold Glove playing first, so we're better than those days.
That should have been Tino's Gold Glove.
Exactly.
And Grisham works a walk, so he walks for the 3rd time today. And here's Aaron Judge. He was Captain Crunch in the 1st inning. A long home run, his 3rd home run of the year. Gave the Yankees a lead, and they have not looked back. He has 3 ribbies on the afternoon.
That is the 10th walk issued by Marlins pitchers today. 10. I mean, they haven't given up many hits. Only 4.
Yeah, the hits are even at 4 apiece. Yankees lead 6-2, but 4 hits and then a hit by pitch and the 10 walks. So the Yankees been on base quite a bit.
You know, Aaron Judge set the tone early. You know, when you're on the mound or you're watching this and you see a home run in the 1st inning like that, it can scare you out of the strike zone a little bit. I know it did me when I was out there facing that stuff. Especially early, 1st inning, bang. It's like, oh, man, my stuff's not good today.
Well, you walk the first hitter.
Walk the first guy and give up a homer. You're like, uh-oh, here we go.
On a spinner.
Yeah.
Runner goes. Line drive, it's a base hit. Grisham round 2nd, he's going to 3rd. The throw from Conine. Not in time, though. They had replaced Conine. I think they got pinch hit for. But the throw was late nonetheless, so 1st and 3rd, 1 man out.
I love this. First off, a rocket from Judge into left field. And then I love Grisham. Doesn't hesitate, but the slide feet first. Especially with 3rd baseman on the bag like that. You're going to win feet first more than you are head first.
Well, that is Hernandez in left and Jimenez.
It looks like they're going to appeal this because I think Trent slid into his foot, and he may have never got the bag. No, I think he's on the bag there.
Oh, and then came off.
He got pushed off. Is what he did.
Or who pushed who, though?
Yes.
But I'm not sure that he tags him on the backside. See if he...
Yeah, on the other foot. That'd be tough, though.
Yeah. I'm not sure how you... That's a complete judgment call.
I think he'll be called out.
After review, the runner lost contact with the base. He is out. It's overturned. Miami retains their challenge.
A lot of contact over there.
Yeah, and part of it is he slides so late into the bag, it's hard to stop because he knows that it's going to be a close play, and his momentum kind of takes him off the bag and the contact as well.
Tough call.
Yeah, that's a tough one to swallow.
Judge goes. Throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Judge.
His second of the season, or his first of the season. He was thrown out earlier this year. He gets a good jump. We talked about the Marlins' trouble throwing base runners out, 10.5% and 8.5% from their two catchers.
Checks a swing. Manny Gonzalez agrees. So 2-0 on Bellinger. Bellinger's 1 for 4. Bounced a double over the left center field wall. That was in the 5th inning.
And Tony, I think another thing is it kind of sets the tone. When you look at the Yankees, yes, they stole a lot of bases last year, but they were 30th in taking extra bases. They were 30th out of 30 teams, and that puts pressure on the defense. I mean, we saw what happened. Caballero got out of the box real well, put pressure on the third baseman. He makes an error.
Now, taking extra bases sort of, is first to third, scoring from first on a double, extra base is taken. Really comes down to aggressive base running.
Yeah, and I love it because it makes it easier to score.
Let me throw this at you, Joe. So they were last in taking the extra base. There's a lot of guys on this team that have an extremely high exit velocity. Maybe they hit the ball too hard to take the extra base.
Well, I think it's part of it, and I think they hit a lot of home runs too, and that's part of it. But it just takes the word to get around that, hey, these guys are going first to third. You got to charge hard when you're in left, center, right. Be ready to throw, and that's when they make a mistake because they're aggressive on the baseball, and maybe sometimes you don't have to be.
Well, fans, go to Yes Network on X and vote for the Monitor Einstein Player of the Week. Is it number 1, Max Fried, number 2, Cam Schlittler, or number 3, that guy, Giancarlo Stanton?
Because I can tell you the scouting reports that we would get is aggressive base runner. You have to charge hard to get to the baseball, get it in the air, so they don't take the extra base, and that creates errors.
0-1 on Rice. Rice had a bullet home run in the 7th into the short porch. Allen is driven out to right field and deep. Going back, Casey, and he can't make the play. It's off the wall. Judge scores. Here comes Bellinger. They're waving him home. The throw is not in time. It's a 2-run double for Rice, and the Yankees lead 8-2.
Well, it's amazing how your day could change. It starts off poor, but you always have opportunities. This is a hang and breaking ball. He goes down and gets it a little bit. Drives it off the top of the wall. Owen Casey almost gets it. I mean, he needed half a foot for another home run, a 3-run homer, but another ball that's just hit extremely hard from Ben Rice, and he's showing that he's going to be a force in the middle of this lineup.
And speaking of extra bases, Bellinger just went first to home. So
there's one. There's another one.
Yep.
Well, you got one. You didn't get one for the going first to third.
0-2 on Stanton. So Stanton, 5-game streak, each game with multiple hits. Today he is 0 for 4. Swing and a miss, down on strikes. But the Yankees do pick up 2 insurance runs. This is how close Rice came to his second home run. But he'll take the double and the 2 more ribbies. By Optimum Fiber, famously fast fiber internet. And by the New York Lottery, this could be your lucky play. Ryan Yarbrough on to get the final 3 outs. And he deals up and away 1-0. Xavier Edwards, 2 for 3 today, will lead it off. This is Yarbrough's season debut. Popped up behind the plate, now to play. Edwards had that home run in the first. Take a look at the exit velocity presented by Spectrum, 103.9 to travel 377 feet. Edwards 11 for 25 to start the season. That one is driven to left field and deep, going back Bellinger, and he makes the play. He didn't even know he had it. He had to look into the glove.
Wow, what a play, fighting the sun, knowing that the wall is coming up. He's going to watch it himself here to say, man, what a great play. This is what I do. I save runs wherever you put me. Look at this. In the glove. Oh, it hit off his wrist first.
Oh, wow. On the bounce. Off his glove. Amazing play. Crowd chanting belly.
It's like Savannah Banana style right there. It's a trick play.
Here's Ramirez.
Yeah, you remember you used to put the quarters on your elbows and swipe it and catch them? That's almost what he did.
That's amazing.
I could pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Well, he was hit by a pitch, so Ramirez takes first.
Yarbrough sure appreciated that. It's always important to get everyone in as soon as you can, and this is Ryan's first appearance, so I would imagine he's somewhat rusty. But I also like what Aaron's doing here. He's got a lefty on the mound. So they're going to stock their lineup with righties tomorrow. You know, if you get your 6 innings out of him, you got all your right-handers available for what their lineup was, and you force the other team to make changes. So use your lefties today.
Let's take a look at the Yankee bullpen. Bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. 22 1/3 innings for the pen. 16 hits, 4 runs, 6 walks, 24 strikeouts.
I tell you what, the Yankee staff has done a really good job so far this year is cutting way back on the walks. Last year they walked way too many people. They were like 12th in baseball, the most walks in them. This year they've been fantastic. No walks today. I don't want to jinx that. I'll knock on the wood here.
Runner goes. He'll take second, ball 3. Now the 2-run double by Rice gives Boone a little breathing room where he doesn't have to get nervous and get somebody up right now. If the double doesn't happen, he might have somebody warming right now.
Correct, because there's the 3-hitter minimum, and you want to give the guy coming in a little bit of wiggle room. So it allows him to at least face a couple more hitters before he would even get somebody up.
So runner at second base, 1 out here in the 9th. Yankees lead 8-2. Pickoff is on. Oh, they got him. How did he get picked off down 6 in the 9th inning? Ramirez is saying check the replay.
Well, I think he got picked off, or almost picked off, because he was trying to give location to the hitter. You can see him waving at the hitter, and he's not paying attention to probably the third base coach. And you see the signal from the catcher, drop, and you're out. See how he's kind of looking for the sign there? Don't do that. Yeah, you're scolding yourself with your finger up because you're saying you're safe, but you're out because you're trying to peek for signs in location.
And the 3-2. Well, this should do it. Battling the sun, and Bellinger makes the play, and the Yankees win their home opener by an 8-2 score. Another good starting outing. Bullpen did the job. Power, speed, and the Yankees start the season 6-1.
Well, I think the patience of the hitters today, 11 walks, the stolen bases, putting pressure on the defense, and again, wonderful pitching.
Yeah, I mean, Will Warren did his job. Couple of solo home runs, just like Catfish Hunter used to do. Kept your team in it. Aaron Judge, a big swing early in this game, gave the Yankees a lot of confidence. An off day, too, for Bednar. They needed that. The bullpen had an easy day, so no stress.
Couple of home runs, Judge and Rice. Rice started off the day with 3 strikeouts, finished it strong with a home run and a double to pick up 2 ribbies.